People want solutions. The skincare industry continues to grow year after year, and relationship marketing continues to create opportunities for ordinary people in the industry like yourself to create extraordinary results. So what got my attention wasn't just the size of the industry. It was the way that the company was positioned inside of it. So take a look at RIMAN right here on the screen. One thing I've learned is that after more than 10 years in this profession is this. Every company has a story. Every company says they're innovative, and every company says they're growing. Every company says they're expanding, and every company says they're going global. But very few companies actually do that and what they say they're going to do. So that's one of the reasons why RIMAN really caught my attention. So they were founded in 2018, and they've done over $2.5 billion in cumulative revenue, the #1 rated K-beauty brand in all of Korea. So I want to just pause there for a moment because that statement means more than most people realize. When people think about Korean beauty, there are two giants that dominate this conversation, Amore Pacific and LG Household and Healthcare. So these companies have been around for decades, brands like Sawasu, Laneige, Hera, and the history of Wu. So these are household names. And RIMAN wasn't supposed to compete with them, and RIMAN wasn't supposed to surpass them. Yet, in just a few short years, consumers have voted with their wallets and their reviews. And today, RIMAN stands as the #1 K-beauty brand in all of Korea. Now, here's something that's really interesting. You won't find RIMAN sitting on shelves in all of Young, and that's intentional. Because instead of spending massive amounts of money on retail and shelf space, celebrity endorsements, and traditional advertising, RIMAN invested into product development, research, technology, ingredients, and the people sharing the products, people like yourself. So now here's where it became personal for me. When I first took a look at RIMAN and I joined the company, North America had just recently launched. Taiwan was barely opening, and I'm half Taiwanese as well, so that was really big for me as well. Back then, global expansion was just the vision. Today, it's a reality. Since then, we've launched in Hong Kong, Mexico, Malaysia, Singapore, the United Kingdom, the Philippines, Japan, Spain, Ireland, Chile, Italy, Colombia, and Peru. And today we're open in 17 countries all around the world. And by the end of 2026, we're projected to be in more than 23 countries globally. And I wasn't looking at what the company was. I was looking at what the company was becoming. Because after 10 years in this profession, I've learned that timing really matters. Sometimes the biggest opportunities aren't found after everyone knows about them. They're found after everyone knows, they're found before everyone knows about them. So when people ask me what got me excited, it wasn't somehow, and especially with the whole K-pop movement that's going on right now, we got K-pop demon hunters and all that good stuff. We got BTS. Philosophy behind it. For years, much of the beauty industry taught us that stronger meant better. More acids, more peels, more treatments, more aggressive ingredients. But Korean beauty approached skincare very differently. Skin, they focus on supporting it. Cleanse, hydrate, protect, and nourish. This is all the basis and the philosophy behind RIMAN as well. So we work with your skin, not against it. Because overnight. It's built through consistency. And that's exactly what really stuck out to me about RIMAN as well. So go ahead and meet our brands right now. We have ICD, which is our skincare, Voltalab, which is our hair care, body care, Lifening, which is our wellness line. That slide always ends up skipping back, so let me go ahead and skip back. So giant Bianpo, let's talk about this. One of our hero ingredients. You may know it by another name, Centella asiatica, or even tiger grass. And there's something that's actually really interesting behind the story. So legend has it that tigers would fight in the wild, get scratched up and wounded, and then roll around in patches of Centella asiatica. So people did notice that their wounds appear to heal faster, which is how it earned the nickname tiger grass. Now, obviously, I'm not asking everyone on this call tonight to go ahead and roll around in the grass after you guys hop off the Zoom call. But the biggest thing is that researchers discovered that Centella asiatica contains powerful anti-inflammatory and skin-supporting properties. So it's been used all throughout Korean skincare because of its ability to soothe irritation, support hydration, reduce visible redness, and promote healthier looking skin. But here's where RIMAN did something different. Most companies would simply just sort the Centella asiatica and stop there. But RIMAN, we asked, what if we could make it better? So they began cultivating Centella asiatica on Jeju Island using their exclusive Jeju Energy lava water. And that's something that's super incredible. And they noticed something incredible happen as well. The plant didn't just grow bigger. It grew approximately 5 times larger. And researchers found increased concentrations of beneficial compounds as well. So we didn't just create a bigger plant. We created a more powerful plant. And that's why it's called Giant Bianpol. And here's the key thing. It's exclusive to RIMAN and RIMAN alone. So now let's talk about the second half of that story as well, the Jeju Lava Energy Water. So when I first heard this, I kind of had to really rewire my brain because when I thought about volcanoes, I was like, okay, lava comes in volcanoes. I don't know where water is coming out of volcanoes, but the Giant Bianpol wouldn't exist without this Jeju Energy lava water. So Jeju Island is often called the Hawaii of Korea. And at the center of this island sits Halison volcano. So over hundreds of thousands of years, rainwater slowly filtered through layers of volcanic rock beneath the island. And as it traveled through the earth, it became enriched with minerals while impurities were naturally filtered away. So the result is the Jeju Energy lava water. So RIMAN partners directly with the Jeju Lava Water Research Center to obtain this resource. And when researchers began using this mineral-rich water to cultivate the Centella asiatica, they discovered something very fascinating. So the plant flourished, it grew larger, it grew stronger, and it developed higher concentrations of beneficial compounds, which means that the water isn't just another ingredient. It's one of the reasons why Giant Bianpol exists in the first place. And as somebody who's been in the direct sales industry for over a decade, this is one of the things that really caught my attention, and here's why. Because everybody talks about ingredients. Very few companies own the farms, own the research, and control the whole cultivation process behind this ingredient. So that's what really impressed me. Now, the last part right here, the nanoliposomal technology. So the biggest thing right here, the question becomes, we have a powerful ingredient and we have a very powerful source. So the question that I want to ask is, how do we actually get those ingredients into the skin? So most skincare products, don't get me wrong, they have really amazing ingredients, but the problem is getting those ingredients where they're needed. I want you guys to think of this kind of like Amazon. So the package is only valuable if it gets delivered. And so RIMAN developed proprietary nanoliposomal technology. So that's just a very big fancy word for meaning that we broke down the particles and the ingredients into a very small, nanoscale so it can get into the deepest layer of your skin. So if you guys ever had used a lidocaine cream or any of that sort to kind of like help your aids with like icy hot, different things like that, the reason why it's able to numb and get into the deepest layer of your skin so quick is because of the same technology as well. So what RIMAN actually did is we combined that technology with our skincare and we turn it into a new beautiful thing called cosmeceuticals. So most companies just focus on ingredients, but RIMAN focuses on ingredients and the delivery system behind it, because at the end of the day, both of those things really matter. All right, so moving right along, RIMAN campus, Jeju Island right here. As you guys start to build this business and come into it and excel in the business as well, and once you reach the milestone of director, you guys are gonna have an opportunity and a chance to go to Jeju Island and you get to see all this. So my husband and myself have had the wonderful opportunity to go here. So we've seen the solar power station, we've seen the RIMAN farm, the Bianpol lab, the Jeju Lava Water Center, and the Ask base and the wind power stations as well. So we got to really see everything as well. The biggest thing about this slide right here and what really caught my attention is because, like I've said, I've been in direct sales for over a decade, so I've seen a lot of companies, but most companies buy ingredients from other suppliers, they manufacture somewhere else, they package it somewhere else, and then they spend millions trying to convince people that they're different. And at the end of the day, We're not here to white label any products or anything. From the moment that we have the seed to the plant to the whole process of bottling and everything and getting it into the consumer's hand, we own that whole process. So RIMAN took a completely different approach. Like I said, we own the farms, we own the research, we operate our own Byungpo laboratory, and we partner directly with the Jeju Lava Water Research Center. And we even operate our own solar and wind energy facilities as well. So we're not simply buying ingredients, we're growing them, studying them, cultivating them, and powering the entire process ourselves. That level of vertical integration is incredibly rare. And this isn't just a skincare company, it's a whole ecosystem. So moving forward as well, RIMAN Farm as well, you're gonna have an opportunity to see this. And the reason why I wanna emphasize why this slide is so big is because I know that if you guys are watching on Zoom right now, you're like, is it real? Trust me, it's real. We've gone to this island, we've seen the Jeju farm, and I don't know if they still allow this, but back in the day when we were going at that time, they allowed us to eat the Byungpo leaf and the plant as well. So it tastes a little bit like cilantro if you're curious and you wanted to know as well. And then moving right along to it as well, RIMAN Village in Jeju Island. This is a place that is really made for the leaders and the leaders themselves, you know. Unlike a lot of companies where, you know, when they make it big, they're buying another yacht, they're buying another property, they're buying another house, whatever the case is. What RIMAN did and the founders and the owners did is they built this beautiful 9-villa resort so that when you guys reach the position of director and higher, you're going to be able to come here as well. You're going to get wined, you're going to get dined. Everything is taken care of for you. You're basically going to have an itinerary. Okay, today, what do I want to do? Do I want to go to a cafe or do I want to go to this beautiful restaurant? Everything is taken care of for you as well. So that's something that's really big and stuck out to me as well, because the founders, instead of pouring back into themselves, they're pouring it back directly onto the field.
진화.
So getting right into it as well with the ICD.
어떤 진화는 수많은 시도를 통해
All right, so there we go. We have our ICD, which stands for Incellular Dermatology. And here's the key thing, is that I love this name because it really reflects our philosophy behind our skincare as well. Cleanse, hydrate, protect. It supports a skin barrier, it supports healthy skin function, and it works with your skin instead of fighting against it. As somebody who struggled myself with acne and sensitivity for years and years, this really resonated with me as well. Because for years, I thought stronger meant better, you know, more treatments, more products, more active ingredients. But what I eventually learned was that sometimes your skin doesn't need more. Sometimes it just needs some support. And that's exactly why what ICD was designed to do. All right, so moving forward, I see our beautiful makeup line here as well. So personally, one thing that I love about our makeup line is that it follows the same philosophy as our skincare. Beauty that supports skin, not beauty that hides the skin. So the goal isn't to cover the imperfections as well. The goal is to enhance your natural beauty while supporting overall skin health. Because when your skincare is doing its job, your makeup doesn't have to work nearly as hard. If you guys take a look at my lips right now, this is our brick red. I have it in the lip tint. It is my go-to, chef's kiss, amazing. I love this color as well. So get your girlfriends, get your wives, get your daughters, this beautiful makeup line as well. All right, and so moving forward, we have our Volta Lab. And so Korean beauty isn't just skincare, it's self-care, it's lifestyle, and that's where Volta Lab comes in. So the Deserty Cola Plus line supports scalp health, hydration, and overall hair quality, because healthy hair starts with a healthy scalp. So the body care line as well is something that brings premium skincare philosophy to the rest of your body, because your face isn't the only skin that you have. All right, and then moving forward to our Lightening, our wellness line as well. This is actually one of my favorite categories. And the reason being is that, as you guys remember in the beginning of the call, I did say that I do come from a fitness background as well. So a lot of my clients at that time, just on a personal note as well, when you guys start to work out, you're told to eat a higher protein diet as well. The only thing with that though is when you are eating more protein, it is harder to go sometimes. You know, we're all adults here. We can talk about our gut health, our dietary movements, our bowel movements, different things like that. So that was a really big thing that a lot of my clients struggled with as well. And they're like, okay, How am I supposed to, like feel better when I'm constantly feeling bloated and, I'm not going as often? But here's the biggest thing is, like I said, the Deep Talk Plus supports gut health, regularity, and microbiome balance. And let's be honest, nobody gets excited about fiber because people get excited when they're finally feeling better, less bloated, more regular, more comfortable, and more consistent. And when your gut is functioning properly, everything else tends to work better too. And on the bottom right there, we do have our Beauty Collagen Shot. This combines collagen peptides, biotin, hyaluronic acid, wheat ceramides, beyond pole extract, which is inside there as well, selenium and glutathione, all things that are beautiful and to help you with your skincare from the inside out. Because real beauty isn't just about what you put on your skin. It's what supports your body as a whole as well. All right, and beautiful right here. We have our amazing before and after photos right here. I'm not going to spend a lot of time about this and talking about these photos, because honestly, they speak for themselves. It's what the skin represents as well. Every single one of these people at some point felt frustrated. They felt like nothing was working. And then they found a system and they stayed consistent with it. The beautiful thing that I love about RIMAN is that it's one ecosystem. It's not one product. It's a whole ecosystem, like I was mentioning. So whether you're coming because you want better skin, you want better scalp health, you want better hair or better gut digestion, different things like that, and wellness from the inside out, we have something for you. And whether it's one product that specifically got your foot in the door, by the end of it, you're gonna really see the whole ecosystem and fall in love with all the products as well. And like I said, the skin became the receipt for them, and the confidence became their transformation. So here is my personal before and after photo as well. So the top photo right there was taken in May 2024, just a couple of months after I had joined RIMAN as well. If you guys take a look at the top right there, I was dealing with enlarged pores, hyperpigmentation. I had a lot of sunspots, which by the way, I didn't even know what sunspots were until my sister pointed it out one day. And at first I thought they were freckles, but she's like, no girl, like you're getting a lot of sunspots and stuff. So it was something that really kind of, brought out a little bit insecurity in me, but through using the products as well, if you guys take a look at the bottom right there, that's August 2025. So I do want to make something very clear as well. These photos don't happen overnight. This whole process was about 15 months. And that's the key thing that I want to point out as well, because at the end of the day, it's about consistency and not expecting overnight results. But I know right here, when you guys look at that, you guys see a skin transformation, but what you guys don't see is the internal transformation that I got, the confidence boost that I got, walking around and not being able to being afraid to take pictures with my friends or different things like that as well. So you're really giving people the confidence to be in their own skin again. And that's something that I truly love about RIMAN. All right, so tonight we've talked about the products, the ingredients, the science, the technology, and the philosophy, and the reason so many people all around the world are falling in love with this brand. But the products alone aren't why Julian and I had said yes. What really got our attention was what these products made possible. Because great products, yes, they can change your skin, but the right opportunity can change your life. And that's a part of the story we haven't talked about yet. So I'd like to introduce somebody who has been part of this journey from the very, very beginning. When I first saw this opportunity, he was my boyfriend. Today, he's my husband, my business partner, and one of my biggest believers. So please help me welcome Mr. Julian Doan.
Awesome. Awesome. Man, if we can in the chat box, just give my wife a 111 for doing such a phenomenal job, sharing the information, and really doing a great job delivering what makes RIMAN different. So again, one more time, the chat box, 1111. The whole time I'm just sitting next to her, just googly-eyed because I'm her #1 fan. I know some people might fight me on that, but I like to believe I'm her #1 fan. And just watching, I mean, just like I said about her before and after picture, she was beautiful before and after. And whether she did the business or not, whether she built her own success or not, I would love her just the same. But just getting a chance to watch the woman I love, the woman I believe in, grow and develop into her own, is such an amazing experience. And, like she said, when we started this business, she was my girlfriend. Now she's my wife. And we've gotten a chance to grow even deeper within the business. So again, just want to give a shout out to her. So if you've been listening or paying attention for the last however minutes, and I definitely hope you were, here's what you just heard, okay? You heard about a company doing $2.5 billion in 6 years. right? You heard about the #1 rated K-beauty brand on the planet, okay? Let me say that again. #1 rated K-beauty brand, not #1 new brand, not #1 direct sales brand, #1 period. And here's what you have to understand what #1 in Korea means, okay? Korea is the country that invented the BB cream. They invented the face mask. They invented glass skin, cushion compacts, right? They invented double cleansing, the ritual. So imagine for a second, if skincare was the Olympics, Korea would be standing on the podium with the gold medal around their neck, with a face mask on, with their gold medal, bored because there's no competition, okay? So just to give you another idea, to be the #1 K-beauty brand in Korea is like being the #1 steakhouse in Texas and the #1 sushi restaurant in Japan, okay? So you got a chance to hear about the giant bang pool, how it's grown on Jeju Island. You got a chance to hear about the Jeju lava energy water, where for 400,000 years under a volcano, right, has been filtered, waiting to be bottled and to be slapped on your face, right? And just to give you an idea, 400,000 years ago, as human beings, we're barely discovering fire. And even more important, you got a chance to hear about the nanoliposomal technology, right? Which is the technology that drives the ingredients into your skin instead of leaving them on top of the skin. Because as we know, there's a big difference between applied and absorbed. And that's where RIMAN closes the gap and separates us from everybody else. You heard about the skincare, personal care. You heard about the wellness, the entire ecosystem. You got a chance to see the before and after pictures. Now, here's what's important. That's the what. That's everything you need to know about why this product belongs on your shelf, on your face, and in your routine. And if all you take from tonight is, I want this on my skin, beautiful. We got you. There's products with your name on it, okay? But my part is not to talk to you about cream, okay? I didn't get on this call, right, because, you know, to talk more about the products. I'm on this call because there's somebody on this call right now that maybe loves their job, but they're not getting paid enough, right? I'm on this call because there's maybe somebody on this call that makes good money, but they hate their job, or maybe they don't have enough time freedom. They want to be able to, you know, have their kids wake up and they're still home versus already gone. I'm here on this call because somebody on here is tired of watching people they know take risk and making something happen in their lives and having that voice in the back of the head that says, man, what if that could have been me? And I say that because right now, that voice is in this room, right? Is on this call. And you're going to hear that. And so my job for the next 15, 20 minutes is to get you to stop watching and to start playing, okay? And what Yvonne didn't talk about, right? She shared with you the $2.5 billion of sales that we did. But what she didn't share with you is that how every time a bottle is moved within this company, someone somewhere is getting paid. And my job is to share with you how that person could be you, okay? So like Yvonne said, my name is Julian. Not much really to say. I love wearing black. So if you ever see me in person, I'm always wearing black. That's kind of my uniform. Just like her, I was a fitness instructor, built a very successful career doing that in studio, and also filming on demand for brands like Lululemon and Aloe. And so very different background than skincare. So if you're on this call and you have professional experience in skincare, you're already leaps and bounds ahead of where I was. But here's what I get to share with you. 2.5 years ago, someone introduced RIMAN to me like someone's introducing it to you. And one simple decision silently rewrote the next decade of my life. And that's why I get to share with you that decision, that process, the math, how it all works, okay? So let's go ahead and dive into it. So if you look at the first screen, you're going to see the traditional supply chain. And I want you to bring this to mind as you look at that, right? Company supplier, right? Guess what? It goes to distributor. Distributor goes to the wholesaler. Wholesaler goes to the retail shops and to the customers. Now, as you look at that chart, look at the arrows. Every time you see an arrow, here's what's happening, okay? Someone's getting a cut and someone's paying a cost. And guess what? Every time that process is repeated to the next person, someone's getting a cut, someone's paying a cost. And here's what ends up happening. By the time it gets to the customer has to inherit all the costs, right? A simple product that a company made is now 10 times more expensive because guess what? They have to cover the cost of marketing, advertising, celebrities that pretend to use the product, the billboards in Times Square, right? Position on the shelf at Sephora, Ulta. And so what RIMAN did was they flipped that business model on its head and they created something called a high margin distribution business model. So instead of spending all that money on advertising, instead of spending all that money for, a spot on the shelf, paying celebrities, right? Influencers. What RIMAN did was they said, hey, why don't we pay real people, right, who have real results, who have real passion with the products to go out there and share it. And so essentially that's what RIMAN did. So imagine we get paid to go out there and share it, just like your favorite influencers, right? You can do that through online channels, right? We have a lot of people who are influencers shifting away from UGC, if you know what that is. That's very popular right now, user-generated content, where they're getting paid to make videos and posts for these companies. But here's the difference with RIMAN. Instead of getting paid per post, you get paid per customer for life. Every customer you get in our company is coded to you forever. Now imagine every time that customer reorders, you're going to get paid. You get credit for it for life, right? So you can do it online, creating stories, product testimonials, posts. You can do it by being a broker. You can be the one that gets the products into the retail shops. And guess what? Make that money, right? And you know, the fun part is we also throw something called K-pop-ups, which are fun get-togethers where we get a chance to use the products, demo it on our friends and family, and give them the opportunity to either use the product as a customer or to build the business. And what's amazing about our company is customers get a huge benefit as well. Number one, when a customer signs up, they get their own customer portal. What does that mean? The customer doesn't have to hound you anymore. Imagine they use the products, they love it, and all they have to do is log into their personal account, order the products, and they're gonna get 5% reward points. That's pretty much cash back that they can use towards future purchases. And our VIP customers get up to 10% savings. So even if you don't wanna build the business, here's what's exciting. Just be a customer, right? Just become a customer, right? You're gonna spend the money on great quality products anyways, and might as well collect the rewards for it. But here's where the magic happens. The magic happens when you flip from being a customer to an owner. So let me share with you how that works, okay? Here's all the customer benefits. I'm going to go through this really quickly, right? So in RIMAN, here's what I want to share with you. There's 6 different ways of getting paid. 6. And here's what's exciting. You don't have to pick and choose which one you get paid on. You get paid all 6 different ways at the exact same time, as long as you unlocked it in our rewards and revenue program. Okay, 6 different ways. So the first way we get paid is something called retail. And it's very, very simple. Whatever you sell, you get paid right then and there, right? Pretty amazing. And how I like to describe this, if we have people on this call that do real estate, or we have people on this call that do insurance, you're going to pick this up really, really fast because it's very, very similar, right? And here's what I mean by that, right? In real estate and in insurance, you have different roles, right? You have a customer, simple, someone that buys insurance or someone that buys a house. Now, maybe somebody enjoyed that experience so much of, you know, maybe the person that helped them out get their insurance policy, or someone that sold them the house, they had such a great experience connecting them with something that they actually needed and wanted, that they want to help other people do that. They want to help other people have the results, and they become what we call an agent. So there's a real estate agent or insurance agent. That's where the retail is, right? And that's where the highest percentage is. You're going to get paid anywhere from 10% to 54% on the retail, so of whatever you sell, okay? That's the first way. Now, when I saw this, I got extremely excited because being a fitness influencer myself, working with a lot of brands like Lululemon, Alo, just to name a few, you know, Vital Proteins, Ambrosia, you know, what's exciting is with those brands, most of the time I get my own code. And whenever someone uses my code, I get paid 10%. Right? They use my code at checkout. Some of you has probably used somebody else's code. And guess what? When you use their code, you get a discount, but they also get paid 10%. Now, here's why I got excited here, because in those companies, I brought them so much revenue. I brought them so many customers, but it only stayed at 10%. It wasn't scalable. Here at RIMAN, they're going to reward you. The more customers you bring into the company, the higher percentages you're going to get. And for me, that was exciting because I know if I want to do the work, I want to get rewarded. And if I work harder than somebody else, I want to be rewarded more than somebody else. And so that's what really opened my eyes to it, okay? Now, the second way we get paid is something called open group, okay? And what that is like you being, now you go from an agent to what we call a broker, a real estate broker or an insurance broker, right? What does that mean? It means now you're training other real estate agents. You're training other insurance agents, right? Now, in the very beginning, when you're training somebody and they're brand new, because you're doing more of the work, you're going to get a higher percentage. They're going to get their cut, and then you're going to get your cut. Pretty normal, right? Because, and again, when I saw that, I got excited because I knew when I joined that somebody was getting paid to make sure I do well. Someone was getting paid to make sure I get support and I do it correctly, okay? So what open group is you're going to get paid anywhere from 5% to 30% on the real estate agents you train in their business. But how exciting is that, right? In the beginning, they get a little bit, you get a little bit more. As they get more experience, as they get better and move up, they're going to get more, you're going to get less. Why is that? Because now you're doing less work. They're becoming more independent, right? So that's huge. When I saw that, I was excited, okay? Then you take a look at something called unilevel. That's the third way we get paid. Now, what that means is, as your real estate agent decides to become a real estate broker, and as they train other people to go out there and use, talk, and demo the products, you're going to get paid anywhere from 5% to 4% throughout your team, up to 6 levels. So that's huge, okay? Next, we have something called leadership override. Once you become a director and higher, that's an extra 2% to 4% on your whole book of business, right? That's like you being owning a real estate firm or an insurance firm, right? So when I saw that, I was excited because there's room for growth. How many times have we worked somewhere that we generally enjoyed, but it got to a point where we were no longer growing? There was no longer room for improvement, right? Or, promotion in the company. And we can kind of predict where we're going to be at in the next 5 years, right? So when I saw that, I was excited. Now, I want everybody on this call to lean in for a moment, because this is when it gets really spicy, okay? When you become a director and higher, you're going to unlock something called revenue share. Let me share with you what revenue share means. Okay, revenue share means you're going to get a percentage of the global revenue every single month. Now, what does that mean? That means you're going to get paid on customers you didn't get. You're going to get paid on countries you've never been to, and you're going to get paid on orders that are placed when you're asleep. That's true freedom, right? Because now, guess what? You've helped so many people in the company. You brought the company so many customers that they give you an opportunity to essentially own a part of the company and participate in profit sharing. Okay. Next, we have something called leadership check match. This is the 6th way we get paid. Actually, let me go back real quick before I talk about that. Now, let me share with you how to move up into the company, right? And what's amazing about our company is we have different positions. And guess what? You can actually get promoted as fast as you want, right? You meet the requirements, you automatically get promoted. It's not dictated by somebody else. There's no racism. There's no favoritism, any ism. That doesn't exist here. All that exists here is you do the work, you get promoted, you get paid. And it's probably, in my opinion, the most fair thing I've ever experienced. So we start off as a planner. That's where most people start off, right? And as a planner, you earn a certain amount of percentages, right? On your retail, your open group, and your unilevel. Now, when you do 3,000 in sales points in a 3-month period, right? You become a manager, right? Your commissions double, right? When you become a senior manager, how do you do that? 6,000 in sales points. Your commission essentially triple. Okay, when you become a team leader, right? Now, not only is it about sales points, here's where it gets exciting. To become a team leader, not only do you have to do sales points, but you have to support 3 people in becoming a senior manager. You see, when I saw this, the company made sense. I mean, the company has a solid track record. You can't argue with that. $2.5 billion of sales in 4 years, right? In the most competitive market for Korean skincare and coming out as #1, that speaks for itself. The only and you see the before and after pictures, obviously the products work. The only fear and concern I had was, am I going to get help? Am I going to get support? Because I'm willing to learn it. I'm willing to do it as long as someone's willing to teach it. And when I saw this, I saw, wow, there's people in position whose promotion depends on how well I do. That means they're financially motivated to make sure I do financially well. And so I was excited by that, because I know if my financial income was dependent on someone else's financial success, I'm going to help them. I'm going to look for the best people, the most open, coachable people, the people with a solid work ethic. Why? Because if they win, I win. And in life, isn't that how it should work? If you help enough people do well, you automatically do well, right? To hit director, you got to support 3 people becoming a team leader, right? To become a senior director, right? You got to help 2 people become director. To become a national director, help 4 people become director. And again, when I saw this, logically, it made so much sense for me, because I was like, man, this is a solid rewards and revenue program, because people are incentivized to make sure I do well, right? I didn't think about anybody else. I didn't think that far ahead. I was just thinking about me. And I was like, okay, I know I'm willing to put in the work. And if people are going to get paid to make sure I do the work and do it well, there's something that's going to happen here, right? This magic that's going to happen. And here's what I want to share with every single one of you. You see all these different positions? These positions are not the prize. Okay, that's the recognition. The real prize is the person that you become to achieve these positions, right? Because when I look at these positions, I don't see SP requirements. I don't see leadership development requirements. What I see is identity upgrades, right? What does that mean? It means you become a better person. Let me share with you something. The director version of you is going to make a certain amount of money. The team leader version of you is going to make a certain amount of money. But the director version of you is going to out-earn the team leader version of you all day, every day. And I'm not just talking about income. I'm talking about life, marriage, right? And how well you sleep. Your standards in your life is going to go up. Now, before I move forward, here's what I do want to share. RIMAN doesn't guarantee financial success. It doesn't guarantee you results. It doesn't guarantee you're going to make money or any money at all. right? And the reason why they do that, because your income and your results and success is solely based on your sales results, right? Sales success, and how well you can execute and learn the skills and the disciplines. RIMAN is not a lottery ticket. The people that treat this like a lottery ticket, right, aren't going to get very far. But my promise to you is this: the people that get involved and treat it like a true profession are going to get paid like professionals. And that's not an income disclosure. That's really the standard in the culture that we have here. So I want to share that with you, right? Equal level playing field as long as you're willing to play. Now, here's where it gets exciting. The sixth and final way that we get paid is something called leadership check match. Now, here's where it gets super, super exciting. Why? Because you're going to get rewarded for developing leaders. This is how you build a legacy, right? This is where you stop trading time for money and you start trading people for freedom. And I mean that in the best way possible, because here you get rewarded for developing leaders. Imagine if you got rewarded for helping people become better, would you do it? The answer is yes. So here's how leadership check match works. Once you become a team leader or higher, right, you're gonna get rewarded for every team leader and higher that you promote and your team promotes, up to 6 generations, okay? As a team leader, you get 3 generations. Director, you get up to 4 generations. Senior director, 5 generations. National director, up to 6 generations, from 40% to 5%. So let me share with you how that works. You get involved, you become a team leader, okay? You build as many teams as you want. And what they're going to do is they're going to look at all your teams and they're going to find the first team leader that you developed in each of those groups. Okay? It could be 1 person down, 5 people down, 10, 100 people down. Doesn't matter. The first one is your generation 1. And here's what the company is going to do. They're going to match 40% of their check and add it to your income. They're not going to take it from your check. They're going to add it to your check. How exciting is that? And then from there, that's your level 1. Right? Generation 1. Then they're going to scan all of their teams to find the first team leader in each of their groups or higher. That's your generation 2. Then they're going to scan all of their groups, right, for the first team leader and higher. That's your generation 3. They're going to do that up to 4, 5, and 6 times. This is where it gets exciting because, again, you get rewarded for developing leaders. You get rewarded for developing people. You get rewarded for leaving people better than when they got started. And for me, I don't know what it is, like just spiritually, communally, like that's exciting because that's the kind of culture you want to be around. Because corporate America is not like that. Corporate America, you're afraid to teach someone to be better than you because guess what? They're going to take your job. And here's what's exciting for me as I built my business. I'm only a director. And, you know, I was very, very blessed. I helped someone get started. I mentored her. I trained her. And you know what? She ended up becoming a senior director. She passed me up. So if anybody on this call is a little skeptical, was like, oh, is this one of those things where the person at the top makes all the money? No, it's not your job, right? You know, here, you know, if you work harder and you fulfill the requirements before the people above you, you get promoted above them, right? How exciting is that? So this young lady, her name is Susan Manuelo, she became a senior director. She makes way more money than me. But here's why I'm excited. Because I invested that time into her, right? She's my generation 1. Every month she gets paid, they match 40% of her commissions to my check. Now, Susan, what she did was she brought in someone that's even better than her. Her name is Brianna Michaels. And Brianna Michaels, guess what? It's her generation 1, my generation 2. She makes more money than both of us. She's her level 1, so she gets 40% check match. I get 20% check match because she's my level 2. So how exciting is that, right? Because it creates an environment where people are constantly helping each other. And that's how you create real freedom, because no longer time attached to your time. It's attached to the people that you work with and develop. And again, what does that mean for you as a brand new person? It means that every single person that you're working with has every reason to make sure you do well. Has every reason to make sure you continue to do well. It's not like they're going to teach you enough so you don't do better than them. They want you to do better than them because why? The company's going to reward you for that. How exciting is that, right?